Today I'm here with Dan Tyre, the sales director at Hubspot. If you aren't already familiar with Hubspot, they're an inbound marketing and sales platform that helps companies convert leads and close customers. Dan joined HubSpot as a member of the original team in 2007, and he's played a huge role in the creation and growth of several sales teams within the company. Today, we talk about HubSpot and how they got started and creating your own digital footprint.
If you own a gym or you need a gym, this is your guy.
My name's Mike, and I help fitness studios that are ready to take action, work hard, and grow their studios. In this very saturated industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests in the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the GSD Show. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Arce. Welcome back to another episode of the GSD Show. And today, I'm here with Mr. Dan Tyre, director of HubSpot. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. This is going to be a blast. You're one of my Phoenix homeboys, and so happy to be here.
We are Phoenix homeboys, West Side, keeping it real.
And what I just learned is you're from New Jersey.
I am from New Jersey, originally East Side. Not
and
keeping it
a
real.
Knicks fan. A Knicks fan. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
a Knicks fan.
More John Starks fan. I was a John Starks fan. The guy was bagging groceries and then ended up playing in the NBA like a year later. So thought it was, and you got to know the whole story in between. But yeah, great story.
So it's like an empowerment thing. He went from nothing to playing in the NBA,
Loved
and that's
it.
like inspiring.
Came to heart of New York instantly.
I
Yes.
love that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Good for you.
So I have you on the show because you know your stuff, and there's a lot of things that we're going to learn from Dan today. So everybody watching, everybody listening, turn up your volumes, turn off your notifications, because we are going to get a ton of amazing, easy to implement information for you guys to start getting to work on your business.
Nice. All right. No one's ever said turn up your volume when I'm talking. I'm a little bit...
Yeah, you
know,
can keep it the
loud?
same. He's loud, and so am I, so we'll see.
I love it, but put it on 10. I like that.
Put it
That's
on
the
10.
right kind of thing, and play us right next to Def Leppard and Aerosmith, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. So now, for those of you that don't know HubSpot, they're, if not the largest, probably one of the largest CRM and marketing softwares out there for small businesses. And how many customers does HubSpot work with?
About 30,000 worldwide. HubSpot
30,000.
is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, sold in 130 countries worldwide, about 1,500 employees.
Awesome. Now, just so you guys know, Dan's been with HubSpot for 11 years. He's gotten to work with a ton of amazing entrepreneurs along the way. They have an incredible conference every year called Inbound that's in November.
Inbound 17. It was November last year. This year, September 25th to
Coming up.
27th. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a huge thing. It's not really a conference. It's more like an event, right?
Yeah.
Because, well, you've been there before.
I've been there, and it was great. There's tons of people there. And you said like 25,000 people?
I think this year 22,000, up
Okay.
from like 20,000 last year. But world-class speakers. Last year was Gary Vaynerchuk. Last year was... and Season Sorry was the year you were there.
Yep, he was
right?
great.
Seth Godin comes around all the time.
You've had some great speakers there, and the conference is really well put together. But really what HubSpot seems to be the authority in my perspective, and you could let me know if I'm wrong, but it's content. The ability to produce content and channel it to the right people at the right times consistently.
Yeah, that's right. HubSpot is all about the inbound revolution.
Okay.
Right? And over the last 10 years, everything has changed, right? I do a lot of public speaking for HubSpot, maybe 50, 60 presentations a year. And part of it is because I got the gray hair, right? You don't have a lot of gray hair. So.
Oh, yeah, I got it here.
You do?
Yeah. I got 4 kids, Dan.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. 4 kids. It's a wonder you can stay awake during this.
Every kid equals 4 gray hairs.
So for the first 25 years of my business career, we did it a certain way, right?
Okay.
It was a lot of hustle. It was a lot of instinct. It was a lot of like trusting your gut. In the last 10 years, it's all about performance driven, right? As everything has moved online, everything can be measured. And now scaling and growing companies, much different than the way we did it before. Mm-hmm. In the early days, let's say 1980 to 2005, salespeople did most of the work. right? Salespeople would take leads from marketing and they would go out and they would engage customers, right? And you'd establish your brand, but it was a lot of hard work to go out and get new customers. Today, marketing moves to the forefront. This whole inbound revolution is it's like a philosophy, it's a theory, it's a set of tactics. And what inbound is, it's a data-driven kind of philosophy that you want to help, right? Sometimes way before people are ready to give you money. You want to establish these relationships, and there's some good reasons for it. And I was actually the first salesperson for HubSpot in 2007.
Really?
Right? I actually cold called for HubSpot. Right?
Wow.
I don't tell anybody. Oh, this is live. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we just told a lot of people.
Nice. And so we didn't have any leads when we first started, right? And so I would call all my friends, and they'd ask me two questions. Number one, what is inbound? And I would explain to them like I just did to you. It's a philosophy of helping people before you start a business transaction. And they'd say, okay, that's kind of interesting. Does it work? And in 2007, we were like, don't know. We have 30 customers. We're just in 2017, we know this inbound philosophy, the big heart of helping, just like you're doing on the show, right? You're doing this podcast, you're doing this live event because you want to make sure that you're providing this information to your prospective clients, right? You build this trust factor, they get to know you, they realize, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then if they're interested in maybe moving into the next step, you're a perfect resource for them to engage.
Well, it's the know, trust campaign that we kind of talked about here at Loudroomer from one of our coaches, where it's
Perfect.
Hey, now I know you. I don't
Yes.
know if I like you yet,
Yes.
but I know you.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden I start seeing more about you, and I get to know
Yes.
your personality. I start to like you if we align.
Yes.
And then as I see that you're doing the right things, you're doing webinars, you're accepting awards, you're on conference, whatever.
Very nice.
Now I can go, okay, this guy seems to be trustworthy. Or case studies, right? So fitness studios, they could do before and afters and testimonials, case studies of the biggest success stories. Now I can trust this person that I knows what they're doing. And now the sales process is pretty easy. They come in it's more of an order taking than a sale.
So we totally agree with that. You are practicing this inbound, and HubSpot's a leader in this inbound. Over the last 10 years, that content you were talking about, critically important. Because content in 2007 all the way up to today is what helps with that awareness, right? People know who you are, and then helps to build that trust. And when we first started, it was basically ebooks and blogs.
Right.
And today it's 15 different things. It's your YouTube channel, it's your podcast, it's your live events, it's your social media, it is your blog. And you have to deliver all of this information in ways that your target persona wants to digest it.
Right. So we're going to get into all these things that you guys can be doing as well. But let me build Dan up a little bit more. So Dan, you had 5 startups?
Yeah, so believe me, I don't lack for ego. You don't have to build me up. I have the ultimate entrepreneurial cred, right? I started my business career, actually I sold books door to door to work my way through college in Portland, Oregon and Bellingham, Washington in the late 70s. I graduated from college. I was a bass player in a heavy metal rock and roll band. And Mike, one thing I can tell you is one of the greatest foundations for business is being a bass player in a heavy metal rock and roll band.
Really?
Well, the guitar players, the singers, they all want the spotlight. They're out in front. They're demanding. Bass players aren't like that. Bass players are about building, about collaboration, about the foundation. And a lot of what I learned in dealing with CEOs, I learned from ornery singers and guitar players. And it was super fun, but you didn't make a lot of money. So my first startup I kind of stumbled onto and started with this company in Boston, right? The company had about 150 employees, but there were only 3 in Boston. So it was a real kind of startup environment. They were about $30 million, so it wasn't like a brand new startup. But over the next 9 years, they grew to $1.5 billion. Right? They IPO'd, they had a secondary offering, and I worked in Boston, in Framingham, in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and in New York as their turnaround expert, right? And the company kept exploding. We hired all these young people to grow the business, and it was great. And I realized I liked that hyper growth. So my next startup, I started in my dining room, one other person, and I grew it to a $7 million company. I sold it to a Phoenix-based company.
What kind of company was it?
It was a consulting and software company called ALI Technologies. And it was a lot of fun. And once again, hyper growth. And it was built around collaboration software. It was a little bit before the internet, technology called Lotus Notes. You ever hear of Lotus Notes?
Yeah, I heard of Lotus Notes.
Okay, so there was 100 million people using Lotus Notes, and I just timed it perfectly. It was just, once again, luck. But the combined companies was about 15 million. We raised it to $25 million, 12 locations across the United States, and then we sold it. And so that was super exciting, and I was on the board of directors, the EVP of sales and marketing, I think. And then I started a third one, right? And that went bankrupt, right? And so that taught me business planning and humility, right? When that happens to you, right, it gives you a new perspective on like what's important and how you need to run businesses. My fourth startup was Groove Networks. And I joined and ran a territory that was from Los Angeles to Arkansas. And the company got bought out by Microsoft. And my vice president of sales was this guy, Brian Halligan. So when the Microsoft bought him, Brian went to MIT and met Dharmesh, the co-founder of HubSpot, and I went to work for Microsoft for about a year. And then in 2006, he called me up and said, I'm starting a new company. It's called HubSpot. I want you to come work for me. And I'm going, all right, what does it do? He goes, we can help you get found and generate leads. And I'm like, how are you going to do that? He goes, with your website. I go, okay. He goes, do you get leads from your website? I go, no. And he goes, do you want to? I go, yes. There's not a CEO in America doesn't want leads from their website. He goes, that's what we're hoping. So I started for HubSpot, and over the last 11 years, the company has grown exponentially.
Yeah, wow. So basically everything you touch turns to gold is what you're saying.
No. Remember. No. Many times people, the good stuff is kind of fun, and not all of those were my companies that I started, right? My special sauce is I hustle, right? I am out there all the time. I do a lot of stuff. My guiding principle in 2017 is I want to do the most good I can for the universe, right? So the reason I'm here is because number one, you asked me, but number two, I want to see if I can help more people, right? I love what you're doing with this show, man. You're educating all these people. Why are you doing it? There's a small component of you want to grow your business, but there's also, you know your stuff. Right? People need this stuff. They don't want to pay money for it until they're ready to pay money for it. So you're providing it to them for free. That's super
incredible?
Cool. I know.
Isn't that incredible, guys, for free?
I know. The reason you're doing that
You're
is...
welcome.
Oh, I love it. I should have waited for the punchline. Sorry, Mike. It's super exciting. Plus, you're here in Phoenix. Plus, this is the way it's done in 2017. Right? So the whole inbound arc of starting at the very beginning and then growing to hundreds and then thousands and tens of thousands of customers. Totally cool, very, very exciting. And so I feel like I was there at ground zero when the world changed. Because we were talking earlier before the presentation a little bit about the differences between the 1990s and in 2017. And we scale businesses much differently now than we used to, right? The primary thing is we were talking about the digital footprint.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So I'm a small business, okay? And let's say I'm in the fitness space. I could be a fitness studio owner. I could be, or even wellness. I could own a massage studio, whatever, something like that. For me, I'm seeing these big companies do content and really creating their digital footprint. Well, first, digital footprint. Define that real quick.
It's your website and the associated kind of technologies that supports who you are online.
Okay.
Right? So it usually starts with a website. Some people can start it without a website, just like a Facebook page or something like that. But we're a strong believer in building that credibility and value in an asset, right? And in 2017, you have a strong performing website, right? That's very, very valuable, like any of the other assets that you would have, like your gym equipment, anything like that.
Got it. Okay. So for a gym, for a fitness studio, why is it important to have a digital footprint today? And how could they create that digital footprint?
Yeah, so the first thing is understand that you have to have goals for your organization, right? And most people want to grow, right? It doesn't really matter what scale you are. Here in the United States, it's not like this all over the world, but here in the United States, most companies want to grow. To do that, you need two important things. You need customers, and to get customers, you need to get leads. Right? And there's two ways to do it. You can do it the traditional method, right? You can run around and have lunch with lots of people, right? I don't care if you're a massage therapist or you're a gym owner. You can meet with all these people. You can wait till they walk into your gym or whatever. Or you can do it at scale, right? And your digital footprint, your website, the associated technologies around it, that's what practices the inbound process. The old way, the outbound, it was seller-centric, right?
Okay.
For you really to understand what was going on, you had to talk to somebody who knew what was going on. That was usually a salesperson. So it was sales-centric. And in those old days, people would like cold call, and then they would send a direct mail piece, or they do radio, or they do television advertisement, cable sometimes, or they would do newspaper ads, right? When was the last time you saw a newspaper?
I don't even know if I get. Does the newspaper people still get it?
They do. I do.
It's pretty cool.
And so the same thing. You listen to podcasts and things like that rather than AM
the
radio.
time.
So there's this fundamental change where it used to be like spray and pray. It used to be like it was all outbound stuff. Now you want to attract people to come to your website, right? So that you can build that awareness you were talking about. You want to move to consideration, which is like liking you and trusting you. And then if they're ready to go, you want to be in the short list of people that they will consider before they purchase, right? That digital footprint, the way you do that at scale is your website. And there's a couple of types of websites. There's just a regular website like a digital
brochure website.
Yep. And that's okay. At least it shows people where you're at. The next stage is you want to use your website as a lead generation machine, right?
Okay.
You want to make sure that, first of all, people are finding it. Second of all, you want to make sure that there's that information that you were talking about, where you're building trust.
So let's do that. So you said number one, make sure people can find it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things for
So
that.
traffic.
Number one, it's not so much traffic. The first thing before you look for traffic, the first thing is you want to define what your niche is. The thing what I've always liked about you is that you're very strategic about who you work with. Right? You're saying, this is my niche. This is where I'm really, really good, right? And you've built a great reputation saying, I can help gym owners, right? You can help lots of people, but you said, and you speak the gym owner's language. That's very, very important because that helps you build that trust. I'm a gym owner and you tell me that, and then I listen to you for 7 minutes. I know you know my business, right? So we don't have to, we can dispense with the pleasantries, right? I know you're Mike. I know you know what you're talking about. Boom. Now I'm intrigued. I may be even listening. I may be, in certain instances, like, this is my guy, right? Because you just know it, and you've built, how long have you been doing this?
18 months, 19
All right,
months.
so you have 2 years of understanding how this stuff works, right? So to do that, you have to understand your persona. What a persona is, and there's a free tool that HubSpot provides called Make My Persona.
Okay.
You can go out and get it, and it will tell you the type of person that you're trying to attract. Right? In a very busy world, right? And you're admitting today is a very busy world, right? There's all this confusion out here. So you're trying to attract the right type of person, right? You want to determine, is it boomers? Is it millennials? Is it men or women? Is it people who live in Phoenix, or is it a regional or a national type of approach? And all of those have to go into understanding the right type of person that you're trying to attract. Right? That isn't, you don't want everybody to come to your website, right? What you really want them to do is the right qualified person, the people who fit into those personas. And then you're going to manage some keywords, right? Will our audience know what keywords are?
Some will, so let's define
Okay,
that.
so keywords are just what you type into a Google search to find something. Phoenix Gym, Phoenix High-End Gym, Phoenix Gym with a racquetball court, right? That last one is a great one because
It's a long tail keyword.
And a long tail keyword is searched far fewer times, but man, that fits that target demographic. That's who you want to attract. And if you're a racquetball place and that's who you want to build this community around racquetball, then understanding the 500 keywords around racquetball in Phoenix are good to do. The next thing you do is you want to put those keywords in your website, right?
Okay.
So you have to place them all over the place. There's a complete kind of science behind that. Your viewers can go to websitegrader.com. Have you ever heard of websitegrader.com?
No.
Okay, it's a HubSpot property that will allow any of your viewers to run their website, and it'll give them a grade between 1 and 100 of how well their website is optimized. It's completely free, right? And they get some valuable information, right? And it provides this information so that they can improve it if they want to improve it for lead generation. And then you want to make sure that you are putting that content you were talking about. Right? In the old days, it was just the blog. Now it's the videos, it's the podcasts, it's all these different forms for a couple of reasons. Number one, people's attention span is a little less than it used to be. Right? Most of the times when people will convert on a blog, they don't even read the whole blog article. right? They
They
convert.
skim through. Well,
Exactly.
every blog, I basically just kind of skim. I look for titles of different sections within the blog to
Yep.
make sure I'm into it, and
Yep.
then I'll go back up and read it if I feel like the sections made sense.
That's right. So I think it was in 2014 we introduced a new concept where there's a conversion, a call to action in the middle of the blog. And what we found is that that greatly performs at a much higher level than at the end of the blog, right? We're talking about a blog article. You're talking about something that is 8 paragraphs. People don't even get past paragraph 3. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's just the world we live in, right? I pounded the table, said that's ridiculous for about, 30 minutes. And then I go, hey, they're the client. They can do anything they want, right? And so there's a real science in those conversions. There's a real important way of ensuring that you're doing it right, doing it scientifically, looking at the data.
So slide tip right there. If you guys are writing blogs, make sure to A, include the call to action up a little higher, and B, use video within as well. That's the thing we've noticed as well, because if they are skimming through like I do, which a lot of people do, they see the video. A lot of people will click on the video as they're skimming. Just
that's what I would do. And I'm going to watch about 45 seconds of the video, right? And I want to say, all right, will this guy or this woman earn my next 15 minutes, right? And I want to understand, can you add value? No fluff. I don't want fluff. I want to get right to the value, right to be. The reason that's great for gyms is because you can be walking around talking to the equipment, you can do interviews, and the way fitness gym owners feel about their facility, it's really a community, right? And people identify with that, right, of where they go. That's an important part of their kind of persona, of what they like to do, of how they like to do it. So it's perfect for video. I say, actually, Brian Halligan, the CEO of Hubspot, says 50% of your content should be video. Right, and I believe that based on the way that people consume that video today, right? And so once you have that blog, then I want it on social media. I want it on social networking. I want it social on bookmarking. I want to see it on Snapchat. I want to see it on Instagram. I want to see it on Twitter, right? Because in the old days, right, when we were in New York, it was ABC, NBC, CBS, right? Except to get on those channels, it was like $1 million a minute. Now they're all free, right? But you've got to put that information out there.
Well, really quick, I know what my take is on this.
Okay.
I want to get your take on this. Some people will say, I don't want to get on video. I'm awkward in front of camera.
Yep.
Some people will say, I don't have all the equipment to do a really good video.
Yep.
So again, I know what my take is. I want to hear yours.
Yeah. So everybody who wants to can get on video. It doesn't matter what you look like. If you're the owner of a gym, you're probably like the most authentic person to create that community. Right? People want to see you, right? If you're like deathly afraid of getting in front of lights or something like that, just find somebody who can be your spokeswoman or spokesperson and just deliver the same lines. But people,
what about the equipment issue?
You can do it on your phone. Come on, are you kidding me?
1080p.
It's 2017, Mike. Don't give me this stuff where you need all the fancy lights and the microphone stuff.
This is
okay. If you don't think that you can't do video, then you're wrong, and I'm telling you that, and we know it. All right, I've done 15 videos today, right, just on stuff that I've seen, and they're not all perfect, right? And sometimes the volume is a little off or a little bit. So guess what? We do it again, right? We take an extra 2 minutes to do it. And guess what? You know how I learned to do that? I just picked up the phone. I had my 19-year-old daughter Sally explain to me Snapchat. For some reason, old guys don't get Snapchat. Why is that?
No, I don't know.
I do Snapchat for old guys, right? I know. Snapchat for old guys. Dan Tyre 1. Check it out. It's pretty cool.
So here's the thing, guys. I know people that are actually getting a ton of customers by doing selfie videos on their phone, holding it up here, letting people know about when they have a next event coming up, another clinic coming up, about a new promo coming up, and then telling them to share their friends. If you're posting on Facebook, you're posting on Instagram, you got to remember that, especially Facebook. Instagram people, with filters, they learn how to make it. Everyone's a photographer. But on Facebook, people are used to seeing raw videos. Yeah. So it's not like, what's this awkward video of this person without great production doing on my feed? This is what everyone's
You're thinking about it wrong. Get it out there, right? Remember, that person that you're trying to attract, they don't really care that it's not a professional.
They're not even thinking about it.
Exactly. They are spending. You know how much time people spend on their phones, on social media on a daily basis?
I don't know, but I know
5
it's
hours.
a lot.
5 hours. 5 hours a day. I sleep with my phone. I can't be away from my phone. Kelsey said, put your phone away. I'm going, no, I'm not going to do it. It's got to be within reach, right? And everybody's like that, right? And they're all on some social media somewhere, right? And if they're not, they're going to be pretty soon, right? We live in a connected world. You can, like, be an ostrich, put your head in the sand, and forget about it. You won't be able to take advantage of what we're doing now.
Even so, there's so few people that are doing it, your business is going to suffer from those people. You're still going to do well because enough people are on social.
All right, so here's the thing. We were talking about new customer acquisition, lead
Right.
generation and customer acquisition. But all the things we're talking about, it's also about community building, right? I want to be known with this community. I want to know who the other people are who go to my gym. I want to maybe carpool with them. I want to understand if there's a new yoga instructor there. I want to get somebody else who's playing racquetball. I want to understand, like you were saying, if there's a new program. How am I going to think that? How am I going to figure it out? You think I got time to stop at the front desk while I'm walking away? No, if I don't get a text or an email or I don't see it on the website, there's no way I'm going to think about it, right? That's just the way it works in 2017. It's not that these are technically difficult things to do. They're all easy to do with a phone. You have to just have the interest. You have to understand that, first of all, it applies to everybody, right? Especially gym owners. Number two, you have to get a little bit of skill or guidance, which you can provide to them, right? This webcast is this live video feed is all about providing that information. Number three, there is a gazillion stuff, a gazillion resources to help you, right? One of the ones that I frequently offer is the Hubspot Marketing Library. It has 400 ebooks on all of these different areas, right? On how to do video with your iPhone and how to record a podcast and how to create an ebook. What is a white paper? How to do downloads. And it's completely free.
Well, and you guys are doing something that just started like an hour and a half ago, right?
Oh, yeah, the 4 days of Facebook.
4 days of Facebook with, who's the headliner?
Gary Vaynerchuk, Brian Halligan. Wait a second. There's co-headliners because there's a little ego involved. There's Gary, who's a great, great guy. Oh, my goodness. He's been at the Inbound event a couple of times. Last time I was there, he hugged me in front of 10,000 people.
That's a good picture.
I know. He and I go way back. Number two, there's Brian Halligan, the CEO of HubSpot. Number three, there's Dharmesh Shah, right? He's the other co-founder of HubSpot. Two really, really great.
So they're all
people.
running this.
They're all
and a bunch
in
of other people.
4
right?
days. Yeah, there's like 12 or 13 other, but it's designed for your fan base to learn more about how to apply Facebook for lead generation. And
So now this is 4 days of Facebook. It started about an hour and a half ago.
Yep.
Is it too late to start watching it now, or can somebody
no.
wait until they finish this episode and then go watch?
Good point, Mike. That's why you're running this thing, and I'm like just a guest. I know. I get so excited. It's very, very cool.
You're about to tell them to go right now. You're about to tell them to turn this off and go, and I'm saying
no, I couldn't do that.
On.
I promised you guys I'd give you a full 35 minutes, so you're going to get at least 37. That's the way I roll, man.
Nice, over deliver.
I like it.
Okay, so how would I get to that though? The 4 days of Facebook.
Just Google it. 4 days of Facebook, HubSpot, or 4 days of Facebook. I think it's hashtag 4 days. Oh, I wrote it down. 4 days of OF Facebook. Right? Hashtag. Okay. You'll find it. It's a big thing. It's sponsored by HubSpot, Facebook. We got Gary, who's unbelievable. Yeah. Right? All about the hustle. All about doing good stuff. And we're going to explain a little bit more about why social media, why Facebook is so important for small business owners throughout the world.
So guys, make sure you go to Google, type in 4 days of Facebook HubSpot as your keyword, your long tail keyword.
Pay attention.
Find it, and then you still have about 3.8 days of this 4 days of Facebook left and good to go. So excited about that. All right, so let's talk about really quick sales and CRMs, because I still, believe it or not, a lot of small businesses don't really use a CRM or even know what it is. I know. They still use like spreadsheets or
I know.
Do
you know the percentages? I got the stats, bad boy.
Oh man, I'm scared to learn.
Guess what percentage of small businesses do you think use a spreadsheet?
A spreadsheet?
Yep.
I would say probably 20%. 30%.
Okay, it's double that. 57%.
Really?
And have you ever managed your business on spreadsheets?
Like when I first started.
Do you want to cry? You want a towel? I'll hand you a towel.
Yeah,
it won't be a
terrible.
John Stark style. It's horrendous. Oh my goodness. Right? It's like you can't like add anything, and if you delete a line, oh my goodness, your heart beats like a rabbit. Yeah. Right? And it's just like really hard. And people say, well, that's all I know what to do. Right? So as a special favor to you, Mike, I will provide all of your viewers with a free CRM. right? A free CRM. And a CRM is only an easy way to archive all this information, right? HubSpot has a free CRM. It's been free for the last 2 years. It will always be
so it's
free.
not for my guests. It's for everyone.
Well,
Dan,
that's a subset
Dan,
of
I was
your
excited,
guests.
Dan.
You can still be excited. Your guests are part of the greater humanity, aren't they? Right?
Yes.
Exactly. And so now you can go download the HubSpot CRM, right? And
Okay.
tons of gym owners, tons of small businesses, they do it, right? We even have people who are managing, they're getting a new job, recruiters who are using the HubSpot CRM, because a new age CRM is just going to help you keep track, stay organized, understand who all of your customers are, and then acquire new customers. And so HubSpot has a variety of free products. The first is the free CRM, which I strongly recommend for everybody. The second is something called HubSpot Sales Free, right? And what that does is it helps you go out and get new clients. We call it lead generation and client acquisition. And then there's HubSpot Marketing Free. So if you want to pop up on your website, if you have a website, you want to pop up on your website where people can drop the contact information, you don't have to be technical. You don't have to have a web developer. You don't have to know how to code in JavaScript. You download the HubSpot Marketing Free and boom, you're all set.
Really?
I know. Welcome to the
pretty good.
21st century. Now, the reason we do that is because we want to help people, right? The inbound aesthetic, as the industry leader, we know, right, how people feel about spreadsheets, right? And it's not a pleasant feeling, right? And we know they want to get over it. And we know that they're not technical. And we know that if you just give them a little bit of help, right, they'll love you forever, right?
No.
So there's tons of people who download it all the time that find incredible value. And then sooner or later, some of them say, yeah, but I need more leads to put in my CRM. Where can I get more leads? And then there's a variety of free products that HubSpot.
Okay, so that brings us to this. So first thing, you define your niche. Second thing, you really start putting out content out there.
Yeah.
50% video.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah,
And then
and you
you-
attract. What you're doing is you're attracting
You
people.
magnetize them
Yep,
to your website.
exactly.
Is that the way you say it?
I like that.
Magnetize them?
That's not the way I say it, but I like the way you
Yeah.
say it, right? You're kind of
You
bringing
act
them
as
in.
a magnet.
Yes. Well, that's the inbound thing, right? I don't want to push you, right? First of all, I can't push you, right? You're a Mike, and I can't push you. In the 21st century, it's arguable that you can't push anybody, right? But it's a busy world out there, so you got to stand out, right? So I want to make sure that you know I'm here. I want to make sure that when you're ready to go, I rise like a genie from your keyboard. Not before, not later, so that I'm there to help you. And you'll move from that awareness mode that we talked about to a consideration mode. Okay. That means you're stroking your chin going, I wonder if I could use this product or service. I wonder if I should change gyms. I wonder if this is a better or a better choice for me, right? And at that point in time, if somebody knows that you're on the website, if somebody knows that you've opened an email, if somebody knows who you are, right, then and places a call, now all of a sudden I like to hear from you because I'm thinking about it. So in some of the advanced HubSpot products, we know when people are back on your website. We know when people open your emails, and we call them up. Then we're like, it's not too creepy, is it?
Yeah.
Right? And they go, it's a little creepy. I'm going, yeah, but I know that you're looking at my website. They go, I am, but it's still a little creepy.
That's crazy.
I know, but then you're saying, all right, well, what were you looking for help with? When you engage in a sales process with an inbound lead, it's totally different. It's not like you're pushing something on them. You're saying, all right, I got 2 questions. Number 1, Mike, how are you doing? With a big smile on my face, right? I'm going to get you to smile just like you just did. And then I'm going to say, all right, how can I be of service? What can I help you with? What were you looking for help with if you're on my website? And even if you're not a salesperson, that becomes a very easy way to come start the conversation.
Awesome. And now, once they're on your site,
Yep.
you use lead magnets, right? Is that how you generate a lot of the leads?
So we generate a ton of leads. The way we do it is the content funnel, right? We give away our software products, that's the code funnel, and then we give away the content, which is the content funnel. And in exchange for lots of that content, we ask you to put your information.
email,
Right. Now, we don't call you until you've been back to the website multiple times, right?
Okay.
Once in a while, we'll call you at the very top of the funnel. Once in a while, if you're a good fit, and we know you're a good fit, we'll call you with
Because you can
warm
check
outreach.
that out. You can see everything about them.
The beautiful thing about 2017 is we have this stuff called lead intelligence, right?
Okay.
In the old days, and the problem with a spreadsheet is you don't have any lead intelligence. You just have what you remember, right? Which, when you got 4 kids, you can't remember anything. I'm surprised you can remember to get here today, right? It's crazy,
don't
right?
remember
What you
anything
got to, but if the software is smart enough to tell you what you should remember, the fact that Dan Tyre's been to your website 37 times. The fact that I've been to see a certain page, the fact that I'm on the pricing page or the monthly program, or do I have to pay the whole thing up front? Now there's an indication that
You're a warm lead.
I move from awareness to consideration. Now I need a salesperson. I'm like, it would be great if I had a salesperson. Now if you call me then, you're like, oh my goodness, it's Mike. It's Mike. He's my answer to my dreams. Maybe not my dreams, but he's my answer to the guy who's going to answer the questions.
It's a dream.
And boom, we're ready to go. We're ready to rumble. You actually provided a great service to me because you were smart enough to know where I was. You didn't bother me, but you made yourself available to answer questions when I needed you most. And that's the way we do it in 2017. Now, there's one final piece, right? So we talked about attract. We talked about convert. Right? That's where you drop your contact information. Now, everybody's not ready to go, so you got to kind of use that lead intelligence. You've got to be kind of cognizant and aware of where people are. You have to be able to cycle in when they're ready to go. And then when they become a customer, it used to be we closed a customer. We don't close customers anymore. We start relationships. It's much, much different.
Okay.
Because in the old days, if you established a relationship with somebody, right, if you were a salesperson, you closed the deal, you walked away, you never saw them. And if they didn't like the software, if it didn't work out, right, that was like their problem. It was like buyer beware. Now what happens if somebody buys something from you and they don't like it?
Yeah, they're going to cancel it, pause it, return it, get their money back.
Not only that, but they're all over social media saying...
Talking about it negatively.
Exactly. Now you have to be very protective of your tribe, of your community.
Well, and you eliminate your opportunities for upsell. When you open up a relationship, as opposed to closing a deal, when you open a relationship, you can sell them bigger, better products down the road.
Super smart. That is, if you've got that target market, if you've got that persona and you know exactly who you're selling to, right? The real challenge for salespeople in 2017, if it's not that great fit, right? And so it's easy to say, no, you were a great fit. We work with you people all the time. Or if they're on the outskirts of that, say you would be a good fit, right? We usually work with these kind of companies, but this is the kind of the parallel. The hard part is when you say, I'm not sure it's going to be a good fit. When people say, no, I want to buy from you, and you're like, I'm not sure. The size of the company, the scope of what you're asking, the extent of all these things, it looks on the surface like you might be happy, but I'm not sure long-term it will be that great relationship. What I'd like to do is let's just trial it for a while. Let's just trial it and do a little self-service, and then if you're pleased with that, you can become a customer. Because you don't want any unhappy customers. You want to have a very high customer satisfaction index because your community, right? Your customers are more valuable than your salespeople, right? You know, in this industry, if you got a good gym, you're like, boom, I love this gym. I go to the Zone all the time. I meet Evan, I meet Andy, I meet Summer. This is great. And it's like a part of your life, right? If you don't have that relationship with your gym, then it doesn't like come off like that. You don't have that mojo out there in the field. And if you've got that good foundation where people are happy, you're going to get more business, right? If you don't, it's going to be a long, hard slog, right? So the first thing is understanding that community, building that community. And the last part of the process, the inbound process, is the light. Right? Okay. And so your website's got to be smart. Now, this is kind of an advanced thing, but when you get to a certain level, you're going to show your current customers a different like image, call to action, and information than you would people who are coming in the first time. Okay. Right? So it's called smart content. And what smart content is, if I'm pinging the website the first time, you're going to show me all of the stuff that we need to do to build trust. All the videos, all the blog articles that are for somebody who's just getting to know me. Right? Then if I've been back 5 or 6 times, I'm going to show you some more advanced kind of stuff.
So the website will dynamically change?
Oh yeah, baby! It's 2017, right? You can't rely on your memory, and your website has to be smarter than you are. The whole idea of having...
How do you do that? How do you dynamically change what's on the website depending on how many times I've been to the website?
I know. Pretty cool, huh? It's called Smart Content. It's HubSpot proprietary technology. First time you come to our website, we drop a cookie on your browser, and we track you all the way through, right? As soon as you convert and fill out a form, then we know and can identify your IP address and who you are. Then we can provide all... I know everything about you. I didn't know you had 4 kids, but I knew you liked and lived in New Jersey.
I keep them off the radar.
I know. And I knew that you were a stud in regard to Facebook.
That's on the radar.
And helping... No. That's widely known, Mike. That's wide. I've seen you present, right? And so that information is important to me, Because if the website doesn't know who I am, I'm like, get out of here. Come on. You got to know who I am. And this becomes even more important in the years to come, right? That ability for the technology to help you understand where you are in the process goes a long way towards ensuring that you're giving that community approach to everybody who comes to visit your digital footprint.
Now, you guys have a blog that I've been to several times, many times, because it's a lot of really great, helpful content, especially on content and lead gen. So somebody wants to find your blog, where do they go?
Blog.hubspot.com. There's actually 4 of them. I'm a big-time blogger these days. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I blog once a week, right? I've got tens of thousands of people who follow the blog. And as an old guy and as a sales guy, right, it's no longer sales. It's no longer marketing. What is it, Mike?
Marketing.
Say it with the back of your throat.
Schmarketing.
Schmarketing. Yeah, you're from New Jersey. I know it. Yeah. Schmarketing. Yeah, schmarketing, you dummy. Exactly. And what schmarketing is the assembling of sales and marketing together, right? And so when they started the sales blog, they said, all right, Tyre, you have some interesting things to say. So I worked with this lady, Leslie Yee, who was awesome, and then Asia Frost, who was awesome, and then Meg Prater, who was awesome. And they take some of the stuff that I experienced in the growth of HubSpot, put it on the blog. So you can find Dan Tyre sales blog articles. I got 50 or 60 of them. And I just gave a presentation at the Inbound conference in 2016 of how this one blog article generated 1,600 customers.
Wow.
Customers.
Oh, wait, let's talk about that. So Inbound is going to be this month.
September 25th through 28th.
So just in a few weeks. So how can, if somebody want to get tickets, where do they go?
Inbound 17. Just Google Inbound 17.
So Google Inbound 17.
Yep.
And then what's happening at this moment as we are on? People are listening to us, seeing us 4 days,
of Facebook. Yep.
And we got great people on there like Gary Vaynerchuk and the CEO of
Brian
HubSpot,
Halligan, Dharmesh Shah,
founder of HubSpot.
MK, bunch of my friends. It will be awesome, right? It's the same thing you're trying to do with GSD. What we want to do is
trying to do the same thing I'm doing. We don't.
And you've been doing for a while. I like that, right? See that's a New Jersey attitude, man. No, like straightforward. Let's do it. No, I love it. And we're trying to educate folks so they understand how important it is. You've been doing it for 18 months, right?
Yes.
And my hat is off to you. This is important. This is first time in history, right? If you lean in and get this right, your business will grow. What happens if you don't lean into your digital footprint? What happens if you don't work on your website?
And your competitors do.
What's going to happen?
Nothing. You just die off like a dinosaur.
Exactly. So it's dire. For the first time in my 38-year business career, you have a choice. You either lean into your digital footprint and you can grow your business. Or if you don't, right, you have a huge problem. Because if people can't find you on social media, if they can't find you on search, right, when people are looking, you can still do the word of mouth. But guess what? You know what the new word of mouth is? It's LinkedIn, it's Facebook, it's Snapchat, it's Twitter.
It's what everyone else says.
Exactly. And in the old days, it was I'm telling you. Now you can tell people at scale. That's exactly what you're doing today. You got like thousands of people who are watching this webcast. Why? Because you built that up. Why? Because you wanted to do the right things for stuff. Why? Because you're an authority on this type of technology. I'm proud.
Why? Because my mother wouldn't have invited me to any more dinners unless I did something with my life.
Boom! I like that. Well, you're growing in great age.
This is for Mom. Can we make sure we address this to my mother?
I like that. Do we have a little picture of Mom behind you?
Yeah. Put my mom right here.
I like that.
Right here.
I like that.
There
I like
you go.
That.
I told her, I was like, I'm going to reference you in a show. Now I did.
Nice. Let's get her on the next show, right?
No,
she might not be as excitable.
We don't have as
right?
much. We don't have
no,
that kind of time.
I bet you she had.
We don't have that kind of time.
You have a demographic.
We don't have that
that's
type
over
of battery
like
life
70.
or
Come on.
or space, hard drive space.
Come
Listen,
on. Old
my
people
mother,
go to
she'll
gyms
go for,
too.
She'll
Maybe
go for
you're
days. She'll go for 4 days of my mother.
We can chop it up into little videos.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Well, hey, Dan, I'm so excited. I got to have you on the show. You and HubSpot have done some great things. You're doing more great things as we continue to follow and watch you guys. Learned a lot from you, and you guys can too. If you haven't started following HubSpot, I definitely recommend doing it. Dan's got his own blog. Definitely recommend that as well. This man knows his stuff, as
Connect
you guys
with me.
can tell.
Connect with me.
Dan. How can they connect with you?
Dan Tyre on LinkedIn.
put it
What
right
percentage of your audience is on LinkedIn, do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, you should definitely get on LinkedIn, even if it's not accretive or you haven't done before. Put a picture on there so I can see you. I want to see you. In 2017, with all this technology, still about the human being.
I know pretty much everyone is on Facebook.
Okay, so
Most of them are on Instagram.
Instagram, connect with me, Dan Tyre 1, if you want to see pictures of my food. right? It's pretty cool. I got a filter for belly fat. That's important when you're my age. I know.
The six-pack-
I know.
the six-pack
that made
app.
Kelsey laugh. I knew it. I know. You don't need a filter for belly fat, buddy.
No,
You're
I
looking
just suck
stubborn.
in.
Then Snapchat, Dan Tyre 1, right? Dan Tyre 1 on Snapchat. Stay focused, man. Stay focused. We're almost to the end. And then Twitter, @Dan Tyre, right? And
got it.
I send out a lot of stuff. Happy to connect with anyone, either in Phoenix or any place that your viewers, if I can be of value, if I can help out, I'm right there.
You got it, man. Thanks so much. And thank you guys for watching and for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you liked this episode, then subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. You can get all the links by going to thegsdshow.com. Thanks, and see you next time.